everyone, and welcome to episode 147 of LostinTranslationmon. I'm May.
And I'm Jay.
And this time we watch Laughing All the Way to the Code Crown.
Or Shinobi Zone, the comical ninja battle.
And we also watched Monitor Mission Impossible.
Or Doritos Monitormons, do your best.
I love Doritos Monitormon. That's my favourite variant of the Monitormon. And we also watched Showdown in Shaky Town?
Or Zone A collapses. Sparks fly between Taiki and Yamato.
I was actually saying, oh yeah, he's going to say Yamato, but I thought you were going to say Taichi instead of Taiki, because that would be like a mispronunciation.
I said it as Taiki.
Taiki.
Yeah.
Taiki on me.
That's his name.
That's his name. For DigiNews this week, first up we have some exciting news that's probably exciting to me and nobody else. So we have the Australian home releases of Try Chapter 4, which is August 15th, and Digimon Savers, which is September 5th. I'm excited because that means I get to own them. And for LostinTranslationmon, I want to start trying to do weekly Cyber Sleuth streams, so I was wondering if people would be interested in more in Monday 6:30pm or Thursday 6:30pm. So if you want weekly hour-long Cyber Sleuth streams, vote in that. I think Monday's winning at the moment, which is fine because sometimes we record on Thursdays, like we are tonight. And we have another poll for Digimon Chronicle coverage. So it's basically normal coverage with like a fun guest and we talk about and break it down and analyse it, or do we cover it as an audio drama? And if it's voted that people want it to be an audio drama, I know a few people who I want to ask to do voices. It would take a lot of time because I'd probably get people to send voice clips in and then I'll edit together. It's a long thing. Also, because of this, on the schedule where Chronicles Ep is due to come out, I will just do a short synopsis episode in its place. And I want Jay to be the narrator.
Of what?
The next Digimon
What
manga
part exactly?
The Digimon manga-ish sort of thing is Digimon Chronicle, which is
Needs
released...
to be narrated?
Pardon? No, it's kind of different. It's kind of like in the weird format because it was actually released alongside, as in like part of like a manual for the Digimon Pendulum X toy.
Sounds terrible.
Yeah, it's alright. It's short. It's very short. So so I thought I'd just try to do something fun with it. I don't know. So yeah, we have a poll for that, whether or not you prefer normal coverage or audio drama, and both of these will be linked in the link dump. And on to Obnoxious Synopsis. The first episode we're watching this week is called Laughing All the Way to the Code Crown, or Shinobi Zone, the comical ninja battle. What do you think will happen this episode?
This sounds like a big comedy filler episode in which ninjas are bad at being ninjas because they're made of TVs. I otherwise have like nothing to work with here. One makes me think there's some kind of jester Pokemon, wow. It's been years. Some kind of, like, I wouldn't be shocked if Piedmon showed up and then it was done badly.
Right. So do you think anything will annoy you in this episode?
Like, doesn't the story feel really urgent, and the idea of them wasting a bunch of time on, like, funny nonsense, it just seems like a bit of a waste. So, that, I guess.
Right. So, do you think it'll be a good episode?
Yeah. I like the Monitormon a lot, just because they have fun designs and they're really dumb. So, I'll probably enjoy it, but it probably won't be objectively good.
And what rating?
I'm thinking of like a 6.5, because it's gonna be bad, but I'm not gonna hate it, so that means a lot.
Right. So, filler or not filler?
Okay.
Or Schrodinger's filler, I guess.
They're there for a reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
They went to the Ninja Zone they had to see them for a reason. What was that?
Because Nene was being crook and her cross-loader stopped working.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's essentially filler, because that problem is irrelevant, and they're gonna fix it with magic. So, this whole arc is essentially filler, as far as I can tell.
Right, so you think it's going to be a magic fix and not like an emotional fix, or...
Emotional fixes are magic fixes.
Really? Oh, okay.
It's not working. The reason it's not working is no reason, and the reason it will start working again is essentially no reason. I'm smelling Bleach filler where that Arrow guy gets his powers taken away.
Right.
Also, it'll be stronger than ever, because she needs to catch up.
Okay. The second episode we're watching this week is called Monitor Mission Impossible, or Drop Out Monitormons Do Your Best. What will happen this episode?
So I guess there's like a ninja village or school or whatever, and in the first episode they introduce the idea of these crap ninjas, Naruto, And then in the second episode, when all the other ninjas fail, the dropout ninjas, Naruto, are gonna go and save the day because no one
So you think it's
expected
gonna
it.
be you think it's gonna be like Naruto?
I think that it's taking very, very clear hints out of Naruto's playbook by taking everything about it.
Right. Do you think anything will annoy you in this episode?
Um, Maybe. I don't have enough really to work with here, so it's hard to really say. Let's go with no because I think the whole thing will be largely entertaining, and it's going to be about TV ninjas. So, how bad could it possibly be?
Right. So what rating?
Um, let's maintain the 6.5 train, shall we? It's like Frontier,
All right.
trains all day.
Oh no, not like Frontier though. And filler or not filler?
It will continue to be filler.
Right. And then the third episode, and actually before we get to the third episode, I just want to say how bad are the English titles for the first two episodes,
Oh, they're
right?
garbage, but I mean, it's Digimon, so here it is.
But like they sound like they tried to make puns, but they got lazy and they just said, okay, we want to make a pun about this, so we'll just actually just say the joke, but we won't actually make the pun. Like I feel like they could have. It feels like one step away from actually being a pun. Like monitor mitten, that's just putting two words together. That's not a pun. That's just you saying two things. I don't know. They're worse than usual.
Yeah,
Anyway,
but
so
eventually they're going to get lazy. They're working on Digimon. What did you expect? They're like,
oh
oh
yeah,
god, we
true.
miss Kamen Rider.
Yeah. Well, the next episode title in English, which is Showdown in Shaky Town or Shaky Town. I think it might be Shaky Town.
How is it spelled?
Maybe. Shaky.
Okay, shaky. Shaky would be CK.
Yeah. So with that title, it seems like it's more of a description about what happens, and there's no actual joke.
Yeah, clearly. And also, where is Shaky Town? I'm getting the feeling it's like in the earthquake zone, which would be really dumb.
And the Japanese title is Zone Collapses, Sparks Fly Between Taiki and Kiriha. What do you think will happen this episode?
It would make the most sense and be the most interesting thing to happen if, like, you grew to sort of like the Monitor Village the entire time, and then it all falls apart because Kiriha and Taiki get into a big fight. Um, I think they will probably about like who's going to be who's the real leader, right? Is it Blue? Oh no, he's the oh, you're my rival, you're my enemy for now because. But then they'll fight for like one final time, and then they'll be good friends afterwards because he really earned Kiriha's respect because they've never actually fought, right?
Mm.
And it'll probably be like
Right.
a draw, or it'll be like a bare victory for Taiki or something, and then he'll.
Do you think... Yep.
Then Kiriha will be on the ground, and Taiki will give him a hand up, and they'll be like, "Oh, you're friends now."
Ah, so it'll be like the hand held out of friendship sort of thing, the olive branch extended sort of, I'm going to help you up now,
Yes.
now we've fought.
And unlike Taiki isn't going to be punching Kiriha in the face because it's not his character.
Well, Taiki did punch him in the face like a couple of episodes ago,
Oh,
but it
yeah,
was
and it
like
was
to snap
awesome.
him out from the... Yeah, it was snap him out from the brainwash. It wasn't like punch
Okay,
because
then
I'm
he still
upset.
won't do it because it already happened.
Like, it was a completely really cool reason, which is surprising, and I like it. So, any annoying things?
Yeah, like I honestly think that Kiriha's like "you're my enemy" thing is really annoying to begin with. So as long as that continues, the more annoyed I'm going to be because they're clearly
Right.
friends and on the same. A, they're clearly friendly, and B, they're clearly on the same side. They have the same goals.
Yeah, but Kiriha is like, and this is what Taiki's criticised him of, is too heartless.
But he's not heartless. Decadramon
Well,
says he's not.
Yeah, and Taiki still doesn't know why he has that assumption. Because we don't either, really. We've just been given a flashback.
Well, it's not an assumption. He sensed it, right? So he
Yeah.
has facts that we don't.
Yeah, and considering his big thing is like the love between things and passion and stuff and heart. So do you think it'll be a good episode?
Yeah, sure. It's hard to say. Like, I think that this bit can be done well because they've done Taiki and Kiriha all right. But at the same time, it's hard to have faith in this show because it's Digimon. And Digimon is bad. Did you know that? Did you know that Digimon's bad? Because I knew
I
that.
don't think Digimon is really bad. Like, I think it's got issues, but it's alright. It makes me happy. So, good episode, and what rating?
Um, yeah. Being incredibly optimistic, let's say a 7.
Wow, that's good. I guess you have a lot of faith for the friendship between Taiki and Kiriha, or rather their relationship.
I'm open that I'm saying that I'm incredibly optimistic when I say this. I'm
Also,
ready and willing to be disappointed.
Yeah, I just remembered that Kiriha's name is Christopher again, and I'm mad. I don't know why. He doesn't look like a Christopher.
Yeah, he looks like a Yamato. I agree.
Yeah. Filler or not filler?
It won't be, because that relationship actually means something, unlike Nene's crossloader randomly not working.
Right, so any further predictions, or do we want to move on to the show?
Let's go.
Moki doki. Episode 23 starts off with Monotomon, and my notes don't make sense.
It starts off with them all hanging out with the old Monotomon who explains where they are.
Oh yeah, no, I got you. Episode 23 starts off with the Nene's Monotomon addressing the other Monotomon, and it turns out they are elite. But in the dub, it's not so much mentioned them being elite. They're just kind of not that impressive, and that's why they pose. They don't pose because they're proud that they're elite. They're posing because, like, someone says, "Well, you're still not that you're not that impressive," and they go, "We know."
It is actually mentioned.
No, later on in the episode.
No, it is mentioned at that stage, just at a slightly different time. Rather than just saying in abstract, these guys are the elites, what they say is, we only send elites out on mercenary missions. Which implies that these ones are the elites, because they went out on the missions.
Yes. But I don't know, like, also...
I looked at your notes, and I got to prepare in advance a rebuttal for that statement.
Okay.
Because it was wrong.
Oh, no, I don't like being wrong.
Oh, well, you do it all the time.
The other Monotomon have bad displays, and in the dub, it's apparently because of the digital world displays so bad. Like, it's because of the real world that the displays are so bad. And
I got it the other way around. I thought it was like, oh, because the Monotomon suck, that's why Human Cable sucks.
Yeah, no, it was that. It's because of the digital world, the real world's displays aren't that good.
But I thought that the digital world and the human world weren't related by computers anymore.
Yeah, but so the dub makes a mistake here. Also, it's like... the original line is basically saying, hey, look, the Monotomon that with Nene, the elite Monotomon have better displays. And that's one of the things that makes you an elite. You have better displays.
Yeah, these 4K Monotomon, let's go.
No, you mean 4K Naito? No, wait.
What?
The Cross 4 Naito?
Oh my god.
Remember the dub does a thing?
Yeah, the Cross 4K, yeah, okay.
Naito, yeah.
I get what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
And I'm upset about it.
Me too. I'm upset whenever I remember that it's not a Naito, it's just K, so it's it's times 4K. Anyway, so it's just weird. It seems that they are trying to make the elite Monotomon more of like a comedic element and more pathetic. Even though they are already a comedic element, they really dumb them down a lot in the dub, which is kind of annoying because like they're meant to be kind of like comedic relief, but also kind of good. Well,
they're meant to be better than the rest of them, and the rest of them suck.
Yeah, which is cute.
It is very cute. They've got an interesting design. And then it's ruined later, but at this moment, it's good.
So it turns out Muzumon has taken over, and he just wants to watch his samurai dramas, yes?
Forgot to mention, the fact that these ninjas go out on mercenary missions, and that it's very early seasons of Naruto, exactly like I thought it would be.
Did you also notice that for some reason one of them had, like, arms?
They all have arms, what do you mean?
No, like, human arms.
They all have arms, what do you mean?
No, like, the one who was, like, the drill sergeant?
Yeah.
He has, like, human arms. Like, his arms just aren't, like, you know, in a suit. Like a little green or red or what have you suit. He's got, like, human arms, and it's really...
Yeah, Monotomon has skin, it's weird.
It's really weird. Like, it's just... I don't know,
I would have pulled that as weird, but the one that got me was when, like, there's a bit... I think when they're trying to make the Digimon laugh, and one of them, like, shows his stomach, I'm like, whoa, you can take those off. And that was when I really noticed it. Yeah,
so basically, they are suits. I want to see what you know how we have Gabumon without a suit? I want to see what the Monotomon look like without a suit.
It's probably just a naked small man, but with a TV head.
Oh, like, what was it called? Like
Danny DeVito.
No, there was like a webcomic that was really popular like a couple of years ago. I think it was called like Object Head or something.
I have legitimately no idea.
I know, and I think I read like a little bit of it, but then I read Homestuck instead.
Yeah, because, you know, you do smart things with your life.
Do you ever just look at where your life could have like changed drastically at one moment? Like, oh, what if I read Object Head instead of Homestuck?
I mean, I haven't thought of that exact moment myself, because Homestuck never changed my life.
I mean, like, I got into magic and I met you, so it wouldn't
ruined. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. So I would be doing this podcast with either no one or myself or someone, or the podcast wouldn't be there. So, yeah. AU where May reads Object Head, I guess.
Someone write it.
Write it. So yeah, the Monotomon train is really, really disturbing. That's all I got from that. All the scenes where we see how bad the other Monotomon are. That's all I could pay attention to because it was terrifying.
It weirded me out in the English versions of those scenes when, like,
Yeah?
the trainer sort of undersold how bad the Monotomon were.
Mm.
They all fell down and was like, yes, the domino technique. I'm like, don't give them credit for that.
Yeah, well, in the original, this drill sergeant is serious, but in the dub, they give him the exact same voice, and he says, like, you can't really tell if it's him talking or the other ones because they all have the same voice. And it's just, I don't know, it takes it away, like, how serious this is. I'm like, oh no, he's as bad as they are, almost. Because,
I can't believe they didn't do, like, a Full Metal Jacket Ali Emery voice for him.
Yeah, that is surprising.
Not yelling at them like, you're 10 pounds of crap in a 5-pound bag.
Yeah, like, that is also another thing, like, or given, like, the really heavy American accent that drill sergeants have in TV shows or movies, like, you know, calling them maggots, like, I don't know, something like that, but no, he's made to be just a regular Monotomon voice and personality, which is really weird because he's got those huge, weirdly human arms. I don't know, it's just, it's something that probably disturbed me more than it should have. I don't know. We find out that the princess has been taken hostage, and Zenjiro wants to rescue her because he's thirsty, and that's all we have from his character, basically.
So I can't believe his imagination of her is as, like, a human head. Why
Yeah.
wouldn't she have a TV head?
Well, it turns out she's not actually a Monotomon either, which is strange.
Yeah, because I don't get it. The joke they did at the end would have worked just the same with it being a TV head, and it would have been even funnier because it's like, why would Jeremy expect anything different?
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be Barbamon, which, by the way, is constantly spoiled in the dub, where from this episode they just say Princess Barbamon. Like,
Did you catch in the English when he's disappointed to see Barbamon finally at the end? He says the only reason he's upset is she's too short.
I like that.
No, but okay. Well, let's rewind slightly. And the thing you won't like. Did you catch what the fake princess in his imagination says in English?
That Jeremy's modest?
No. She said that she is.
No, because, she says, and so modest, because Jeremy's, like, saying how cool he is. Yeah?
N? That's not a way you address somebody.
And. A-N-D. And so modest. Like, Jeremy's saying how cool he is, and she says, and so modest.
I heard it differently, and I guess this makes sense. My version was way worse.
Yeah, no, she does not say I'm so modest, because that wouldn't make sense. She says, and...
It would make sense if he was weird.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, he's weird. He's very weird.
It was perfectly reasonable to think that she said it.
No.
It was completely reasonable.
So Musimon has her captive until he gets the Code Crown, and the Monotomon Elder appeases the Dark Shurimon, who decides to attack Team Crossheart by giving him a samurai drama.
It's so weird seeing Shurimon here.
Well, he's like Dark Shurimon.
Yeah, so why does he have the crest of sincerity on his face?
That is weird. It should be removed, because from memory, Blackwall Greymon doesn't have the crest of courage on him, so it's weird that Shurimon color variant wouldn't have... I guess it's still called Shurimon, though. It's not like Black Shurimon, it's just Shurimon. Which, it's just strange that...
New design Shurimon.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's cool. Like, it's more of like a ninja style. Like, he's got the black material on him. I don't know.
Give him a different symbol. That's all I'm saying.
Maybe he's just Naruto.
Is Mimi there?
No, you mean Miyako?
No.
Oh,
because that season
Shurimon.
didn't happen.
Pardon?
That character wasn't even in Try. That season didn't happen.
That character was in Try.
No, she wasn't. She was never animated.
Her shadow was.
Yeah, no, that's not the same thing. And
you're right, no
it.
animation. Yeah, true.
Too legit to quit.
Nene wants to help out, but Zenjiro's worried about her health. In the dub, he just says, "No, my angel." Like, I don't know. In both versions, Zenjiro is extremely thirsty and hits on Nene quite a bit and is a little bit weird. But in the original, he cares about her well-being. Like, he's constantly saying, oh, but you're unwell. You passed out before. You've gone through some trauma. I want to make sure you're okay. But in the dub, it's always just like him being protective of her for no reason. In the original, they at least gave it like a reason why he's so protective, right?
Yeah, who can't look after herself? The general who beat the crap out of you guys.
Yeah, like, I mean, it is... I don't know, I feel like it's fine that he's worried about her health, because that's, a friend thing. No matter how tough someone is, if they have, like, a moment where they're just a little bit weaker, or if they're sick, you can worry about them, even if they did beat you a couple episodes ago. I don't know.
I really like when Taiki was like, oh, is it because Zenjiro is being all weird? Is that why you feel sick?
Yeah. That was, I think, last episode?
Yeah, it was a while ago, but I still like it.
I mean, that was in the dub, I think.
It was.
Yeah. In the original, he's just like, oh, what happened? I need to look after you because I have issues. Taiki's a good boy.
He's too good.
Muzumon wants the code crown for Blastmon, so we find out that obviously he's working for Blastmon. He doesn't want the code crown for himself, he wants it for...
All he wants to do is watch period dramas.
Yeah, which is fine. Like, he's just doing his job, but also he wants to watch period dramas. For some reason, I have the feeling that he would just be equally happy not going for the code crown, just sitting there as he was. And I feel like he would have continued just watching samurai dramas
He says it. He's like, the only reason I want this is because they're going to cut my head off if I don't get it.
I don't remember that line, but I might have missed it. That sounds like obviously an original line, though.
When he yells at Shurimon, he's like, you get this or Blastmon's going to cut my head off.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really obvious that he would just sit there and watch otherwise.
Yeah, like,
Just
I don't think Muzumon necessarily did anything, like, really, like, is a bad guy.
Wait, because you're pronouncing it Muzumon, like the Atmon character?
Oh, no.
Do you feel this? It's like Musiamon?
Musiamon, yeah. The Elder
It's his Praeris,
tells...
which is all period dramas.
Yeah, he tells Team Crossheart that Kara Tenmon has the code crown. And then there are lots of Edamon that are just watching. And in the dub, they give them a voiceover. Also, I'd like to point out that the dub voice is just wrong. It doesn't sound like my Edamon in my heart. So it's heartbreaking.
It's not nearly Elvis enough?
Not nearly Elvis enough. Anyway, so the voiceover says of what the Edamon's saying is, that code crown will be ours. Which is really strange. That, I don't know, like, because they try to make the Edamon look like they're a good group of guys. They're not, but they're trying to, like, in the original, make you believe that they are.
I never thought that, because you saw them spying earlier.
That was just one of them. There could just be one of them that's evil and the rest of them just live in the forest.
You know that's not true. You know it wouldn't even try to make you think that. All Digimon think the same.
Yeah, but if I was 6...
Has there ever been two of the same Digimon that thought different things at the same time?
I mean, Black Wall Greymon and Wall Greymon are the same Digimon.
Different Digimon, different names.
Oh, I don't know, we haven't had that many Digimon that have personalities that we get another one
That's what I'm saying. They're either completely unique, or at least they're unique to the time, because Edamon was unique up until now. Ruined, by the way.
Savers Agumon and Adventure Agumon?
But they weren't hanging out together.
Adventure Agumon and Atmon Agumon?
They never hung out.
Adventure Agumon and Tri Agumon?
They didn't hang out? Like, what are you talking about?
Oh no, he got hungry and for some reason in Tri.
It's great. Always hungry, what?
He only started to get hungry in Tri.
Oh, right.
Like, that was never his... Like, he didn't really have a personality in Adventure. Like, he was just kind of, like, the protagonist dinosaur friend.
It's a good personality to have, honestly.
Yeah, true. But now he's a hungry dinosaur friend.
It's better than most. But the thing is, what I'm trying to say is that Digimon who are the same kind of Digimon never disagree. There's never, like, one Digimon of the group who's, like, going off and betraying everyone. It's always the weird, unique one that's different. And that's for storytelling purposes. I get that. But, like, once you see but because you set that precedent, if you see one Edamon being evil, all the Edamon are evil. And you can't escape that.
I don't know, like, it would be nice to see a nice Devimon or a nice Edamon or...
But if we saw a nice Devimon this season, it wouldn't change anything. It wouldn't change my position, because there's no evil Devimon this season.
Right. I don't know, like, I like to give Digimon the benefit of the doubt, like, in terms of, like...
It doesn't deserve it.
No, Digimon as in, like, as a species, like, particularly
I'm talking about the franchise.
No, I'm not... I know you don't have faith for the franchise, but I mean, like, if a Digimon looks evil, like, I try to say maybe it's not evil, even though every other Digimon who has been on the show, who is also that Digimon, has been evil. Like, some Digimon... I don't know, it would be nice to see an evil Digimon who's just a
Puppetmon wasn't evil at the end of the day.
Oh, yeah.
You got what you wanted. I'm talking about, like, if you see one Etamon in this episode and they're clearly evil, you can expect, if you see another Etamon, that one will also be evil. And that is an unbroken rule.
It's annoying, because, like, I want some differentiation between, like, groups of Digimon and singular Digimon. I know that it's obviously not happened, as we've just proven, like, in the terms of the same show where they hang out and stuff. But it would be nice if we had a group of Digimon and then just one has a different personality, or multiple have different personalities, because that's how personalities work.
Yeah, obviously, but they're all an amalgam mass, because who could be bothered writing for different characters that way? And if they do, they're going to write them as a different Digimon so that children can tell the difference. That's the primary problem, I think, is that you couldn't tell whose side who was on
Yeah.
based on their designs anymore.
Mm.
That's why they gave Ash's Squirtle those sweet sunglasses.
True, and all the other ones just had the circle ones. I
Yeah,
guess
the
that's
John
point.
Lennons.
What I'm really enjoying about this episode is that Akari's looking after Nene, and she's like understanding her, and Akari's saying how she has brothers too, so she understands what Nene's going through, is like how Akari would feel. Like she's sympathizing with Nene about how she would feel if one of her brothers went missing, and I like that. However, the dub just removes the fact that, like, Angie does not mention in the dub about her having brothers.
Maybe because she doesn't in the English. Who knows? Maybe she has a dog.
Maybe she gave it to Mimi.
Oh, she did need a brother.
Yeah.
Who could teach her to cook? Like, we can tie this in. We can tie this in.
We can do this.
It's just a little airborne. It's still good. It's still good.
Zenjiro in the dub keeps on... I keep on forgetting that his name's Jeremy in the dub. I don't know why. I just keep on calling him
I
Zenjiro.
only know him as Jeremy.
True.
We're opposite ends of this spectrum.
True. It's like Cody and Iori. You only knew him as Iori, I think, or...
I think so, yeah.
But you would only call Miyako Yoli.
That is also correct.
And you were like saying Yoli and Iori in the same sentence, and I was
Oh,
just
I
like...
say that all the time. In this tone, I say Taiki, Akari, and, Jeremy, and Yamato.
Yeah, I was about to say in Yamato. But also the thing is, for like the first, like, I want to say 10 episodes of our coverage of Cross Wars, you thought Akari's name was just Kari.
I thought her name was Kairi.
Yeah. Nope.
And
Akari.
You can't blame me. You can, but I don't want you to.
It's just Kingdom Hearts. Right?
I never played it.
That's a character in Kingdom Hearts, I think? I don't know. I've
Is
never
it?
played it either. I think it's the girl.
We're making
No, wait,
the wrong reference here. If there's a PS4 collection, I might do it.
Oh yeah, I would totally like... It's a really hard thing to get into because there are like multiple games across multiple platforms.
There are like two PS3 collections, but I don't play PS3. I have a PS4 now.
Yeah, I don't even have a PS3. In any case, so Zenjiro keeps on calling Nene his angel in the dub, which is really weird because in the original he goes over to her because Angie's not holding on to her at the moment. So Zenjiro like holds on to her to see if she's okay. Like, oh, are you okay? I'm here if you need anything. You know, you're not doing too well at the moment. You're sick. I want to look after you. Because even though he's thirsty, I feel like he's got good intentions. Like he's doing it sort of like he's looking after her. In the dub, he just keeps on calling Nene his angel, which is so annoying.
It is really annoying. He's doing it out of the dudeness of his heart.
Yeah, like in the original, you can argue that like, oh, he's not just doing it because he wants to get with the girl. He's doing it because he clearly actually legitimately cares for her and like values her as a person. And so Nene punches him, which of course in the dub is covered by a flash, and we get a lot of violence in these episodes which are just covered by flashes of light.
I feel like in this one it was like an accident almost. It wasn't like intentional.
Yeah, I think
They tried to frame it in a different way.
Yeah, it was definitely like she didn't really expect him there and she got surprised, so she pushed him. I don't know, it's just
you know, wilting flower that Nene is.
I know she's crook. She's gone through some stuff. She's worried about her brother. She was kind of a bit possessed. I can give her a little bit of leeway. She's also very young. She's going through a lot. She's okay to have some weakness. Also, it's still weird to me that Rika's voice is coming out of her mouth sometimes.
I don't notice. So that's good for me. I don't get to have that moment. I didn't want it.
So, group of Edamon save Jeremy, and they think Shoutmon is, like, the fact that Shoutmon's a king is really rock and roll, so they're going to follow him now.
Well, they say that.
Yeah, and Nene doesn't trust them because...
Why would you?
Yeah, why would you, honestly? Akari wishes she could cheer Nene up, and Taiki says that Akari is being like him. And how...
And she's like, how dare you?
Yeah, and he's like, oh, this is how, like, I can't turn my back on anyone, you can't turn your back on Nene. In the dub, it's a sort of play down.
Is this that can't turn your back thing?
Yeah.
That would have been a great moment for Wisemon to pipe up.
Yeah. No, that would be cute. I think the show's forgotten about him, though.
Yeah, I know. I didn't, because I have a perfect encyclopedic knowledge of this terrible show.
Also, I love Wisemon. But I wish that he did just pop up randomly, and, like, Taiki would have to, like, stuff him back to the crossload and say, no, go back in.
Please don't vivisect me.
Yep. Please don't murder me. Just go back into the crossloader and have a good time. Goodbye.
Hang out with your friends. He never made Wise Shoutmon.
Oh, that'd have been so cute. I really like those Digi-crosses, though.
That was, like, the best part of the episode.
This isn't a spoiler, but in the second season /third part, instead of the Digimon data collection, we have random digicrosses at the end of each episode.
That's so good. Except it means that they're not happening in the actual show, so it's bad.
No, but they're like ones that you would never think
happen.
of.
Yeah.
Or
cool.
Oh, here's the monster of the week. Oh, now we're going to cross him with Shoutmon or whatever.
Gigi Shoutmon.
Yeah, like it's just random ones that would never be relevant anyway, or Digimon that the character doesn't own. My favourite is Sparrowmon and Patamon.
What?
It's my favourite.
Random.
It probably looks exactly like what you're imagining. It's just Patamon and Sparrowmon, but it works really well.
Its wings are its ears.
In like a chibi cute way. I don't know. It's one that you would never actually use in the show because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
but
Patamon's not in the show.
Like, you can tell that those segments were just made by people who were like, hey, but what if?
I swear to God, at the end of these things, in the English, they tell you, hey, guess which...
Yeah.
They do like a, who's that Digimon?
Yeah, dude,
but the names are on screen, right?
I said that in the last episode, how the dub treats it more like a quiz.
Yeah, but aren't the names on screen the whole time?
No, just while the attacks are appearing, I believe it's said, like at the very start when they talk about it, but then the name shows up.
Maybe I'm only looking up right at the end.
In the original,
when the credits, when the like the episode clearly ends, I look away,
yeah,
and they're like, "Who's that Digimon?" And then I look at it again, and it has the name there. I'm like, "That was quick."
Yeah, and the Monitormon always, the whole time? Yeah, the Monitormon always gets it wrong, which is the joke.
Monitormon are dumb.
I love them though.
Yeah.
So it turns out that Karatenmon needs to be made to laugh to get the code crown off him. And then
Why didn't the old TV tell them that in advance so they could come up with material on the way?
Because then it wouldn't be ad-libbed.
But that's the whole. But you don't need to ad-lib it.
Yeah, but I mean, like clearly the show.
It's worse when it's ad-libbed.
No, I'm saying in the script they wanted to ad-lib.
But the script is dumb.
We established that from like the first episode of LostinTranslationmon.
Good will always lose. Sorry, evil will always win because good is dumb. It is.
So
this is a perfect example.
Zenjiro uses puns, and it's a Japanese pun, obviously, in the original, and then they made it like a...
No, it's an English pun in the original.
Yeah, is it? No, it's
sauce and sass.
It's shoyu, I thought. Maybe I misheard. I might have misheard.
Either way, it's a bad Japanese pun.
Shoyu is soy sauce, and I think he said he was going to show you. I can't remember.
Oh no, you're right.
Yeah. In the dub, it's ketchup, as in ketchup, because tomato sauce is ketchup in America.
It was pretty bad.
It's probably worse, but maybe that's because English
But it's actually
puns.
a very impressive translation job.
Yeah, like they did a good job.
They
Yep.
They made the best sauce pun they could possibly make with the materials at hand.
Yeah. So Taiki makes funny digicrosses, which this is probably my favorite part of the episode.
It got me.
Yeah, it was cool, and even Nene laughs, but Karatenmon's having none of this. Edamon wants the code crown, so he's trying to. That just doesn't work. They all look at Dorulumon. He leaves. He's just like, no. And he just drills out, like, bye, Dorulumon. Also, where's Cutemon? I just realized we haven't actually seen... Except for Cute Shoutmon, we don't actually... we haven't heard about Cutemon and his parents for a while.
Well, the parents aren't relevant anymore. That's out of the story.
Oh.
That's not real.
But yeah, I just realized how Cutemon's not being relevant anymore.
Well, because it's not.
That's
There's
sad.
no one needs healing, so you put it away.
Aw, that's sad. So Nene says that she'll do it too, like she'll do a skit, and she's going to do it with Kari. And she makes a lot of puns that are Japanese.
Problem is that she's doing like the same routine that that Jeremy was doing, just different. Like just maybe slightly better, like 10%, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's amazing!"
Yeah,
and that's why in English they're like, "Oh, I guess it's funny when she does it."
Yeah.
To each their own. That's his style of humor. Okay, like even the writers couldn't figure out how to justify the fact that puns didn't work and then puns did work.
Yeah. So Karatenmon laughs because this is an Akari and Nene episode, which I'm a big fan of, by the way. And Edamon takes the code crown because, of course, he does.
Which is weird. There's a few problems here. Like, on one hand, on the next episode, they sort of they seem to imply that to get this code crown, no matter who has it, you have to make them laugh. Or it's possible they were just applying that rumor backwards. That's fine. But even so, wouldn't Karatenmon have something to say about that? He's right there. Can't he see Edamon stealing it?
Yeah, true.
Wouldn't he be like, hey, stop that, I gave it to them?
I think it's just, I don't know, that's just more him releasing the code crown, maybe?
But wouldn't he care? Seems like a good guy.
Yeah, true.
I can hear you're frantically thinking oh wow, Karatenmon would just disappeared the moment that happened.
Yeah, I just don't think I don't think it was relevant anymore, I guess.
It was very relevant because of the story. Stories have characters in them and characters act in a certain way. That's what makes them characters.
Yeah. So Taiki crosses Ballistamon and Beastmon, which in the dub for some reason talks like Beastmon in the dub, which is just weird to me. Like
Bastmon?
Bastmon and Beastmon are the same Digimon, correct?
Okay, you said Beast twice, and I was like, hold on. Because Beast could be something else. Bast is like, well, that's a cat. That makes perfect sense. That's the only one I know it as.
Well, Ballistamon and Beastmon become... What
was Beast Listamon.
Beast Ballistamon, yeah, that's right.
Or the Blastamon? No, that doesn't work. I don't know, it's hard. Portmanteaus are hard.
So, of course, in the dub, she talks so much because she doesn't have, like, a visible face mask. And I kind of like this design. Like, it's funny, but, like, it's,
boxy.
I know, it's like it's very Digimon.
Yeah, you could see this thing as just an actual Digimon they would have made.
Yeah. That's
so,
why I
mean,
guess
it talks
it has
plenty
its name.
in Japanese. The difference is what is being said rather than just like, oh, this is a belly dance. It was like a full rhyme. Which is amazing because that actually means they put in more effort for this scene.
Yeah, they always put in, like in the next episode we see it as well with the ninja group. A lot of them don't have moving mouths, so we just get in a lot of extra lines.
True, but it's not like what I'm trying to say is that it's not like extra words being said.
Yeah,
it's just that like the variety of words is higher.
Yeah. The Edamon get defeated, and Edamon says it's real rock and roll, which is kind of cute. I don't know, I like it. Taiki makes a star blade, and I'm really upset that Shoutmon wields it and not Jeremy.
No, he's got to do that next episode. They can't give him all the glory immediately. No one can see him being cool yet.
Yeah. Akari and Nene are friends now, and Karatenmon dressed in drag to make the last Code Crown owner laugh. And Nene's like, hey, no one took video of me, right? And they're like, no.
And then they all run away. She's like, hey, I'm too unwell to chase after you. And they're like, haha, get wrecked, fool.
We don't care about you anymore. Your episode is over.
Also, it's next episode, except it's Jeremy's, except it's also hers.
Yeah, except it's Taiki, because he gets the kill anyway. Spoilers. Yes, Skull Greymon is the data collection for that episode. Episode 24 starts off how 23 ended, and Crossheart are going to rescue the princess. Nene can't go because she has the Code Crown, which... I didn't actually think at all that was a possibility. Like, oh, of course Nene couldn't come. Like, if they want the Code Crown, she'll just get the Code Crown stolen, so she should stay safe. So Taiki says...
Didn't she just give it to Taiki?
Yep. Pardon?
Wait, but she has a bunch of Code Crowns.
Yeah, but she has this one that Museumon specifically after.
Yeah, but she has tons of them. Like, if she can keep all the other ones safe, she can keep this one safe.
Right.
I guess the issue is that she's unwell. That's totally different.
But they don't actually mention her being unwell in this episode. The reason that she can't come is because she has the Code Crown. Also, I guess the fact that she also doesn't have a working crossloader, but I don't think they actually mention that.
I forgot it doesn't work anymore. Because it's random. Because when it changes color, I was like, oh, yeah, cool. But then, like, that also fixes it. And because I hadn't mentioned it not working, I was like, bro, it just changed colors.
No, it doesn't work. They haven't mentioned it for a while, which I can appreciate, because sometimes we've criticised Digimon for telling us stuff that we don't need to know, or that we've already been told, or that's obvious, or what have you. So it's fine. Taiki says that Zenjiro and Darullamon should rescue the princess. And then 3 of the failing Monotomon go too, because they have information. In the dub, it's just, they keep on, and they did this in the last episode too, they keep on calling the Princess Barbamon.
Just tell them in advance. It's not Monitor Barbamon or anything to, fool you.
Or what about Princess Monotomon, or something like that, I don't know.
Something that would have, made you think, oh, okay, so she's a Monotomon. Okay, fine. Jeremy's going to get messed up. Oh, no, she's the princess of the Monotomon. Oh, that's why we gave her that name.
Taiki and the others catch the ninja squad, and they're going to fight. And they want to make Shoutmon laugh, because they think that he has the Code Crown. Then
why do they think that?
Because he's, the general's main Digimon.
But why making him laugh? Is that a condition for this...
I got the impression that this Code Crown, releases itself once the owner of the Code Crown is made to laugh, but this hasn't been shown in any other Code Crowns.
Dangerous. B, doesn't that mean that they couldn't get it off Etamon?
What do you mean?
How did Etamon get it from them? They didn't laugh.
He wasn't the legitimate owner of it.
Okay.
And it wasn't, transferred. Also, Nene just gave it to Taiki in the end of this episode anyway, so,
yeah, she probably laughed at some point, though.
She's like, okay, I guess you made me laugh because of how pathetic you are. That could have been an additional line. I'd be a great dub writer.
What there should have been is... what there should be is that every single time every time Taiki laughs, the Code Crown pops out of his crossloader.
That'd be so great. I love that.
He's like, no, come back here.
I'm pretty sure any conditions are void once the protagonist has it.
Yeah, obviously.
Which is sad.
But that's dumb.
Wouldn't that be a cute running gag? Of
I
just
think
like
so.
the code crown going, ah, and Taiki just trying to shove it back into his pocket and says, no,
No.
you're mine. And Shoutmon was like, no, I need to be king. You have to keep it. So we get to see the Impmon Digimemory, and I gotta say I'm a pretty big fan of when they actually use the Digimemories as Digimon that we've seen in previous seasons.
But then Imon never had that attack.
Yeah, that's like the, I think it was called Bada Boom in the English version.
It wasn't like combining red and blue and then making a big wall. He just threw like little fireballs.
Oh, I think it was similar, but no, maybe
It
you're
was
right.
not nearly similar. Like the only
Yeah.
thing that's similar is that there is fire involved and he uses his hands.
Yeah. I also really like about this episode is they're pulling out the Japanese-style Digimon that we haven't really gotten a lot of love. So we have Katoramon, who's the dog Dava, and we have Kotemon, and we have Kabukimon. I believe Kabukimon is Tailmon with the crest of sincerity, I think? I don't know. Anyway, I just really enjoyed the fact that they're using all these Japanese-style Digimon in this episode because it fits. I appreciate it. The Monitormon can't swim, but turns out neither can Zenjiro, and Darulamon like reluctantly rescues him, okay, fine, I'll rescue you. And throughout this, basically the whole scene is that Darulamon in the dub keeps on complaining about Jeremy and Monitormon being useless, and this is when there's no dialogue in the original version. In the dub, it's just him going, oh, I guess I have to look after you, oh, I'm babysitting, oh, and it's really annoying. So Jeremy takes credit for Darulamon drilling through the ground, and we also we have to drill out of the ground because Monitormon's screens are really bad quality. And basically all the red Monitormon are really bad. Zenjiro was concerned after watching Crossheart fight and it motivates him, and this is a really, really nice scene. Like, he's feeling pretty pathetic, he's like, I can't do anything, I'm not as good as Taiki, and he sees Taiki fighting, and Taiki says how great he is and how much, like, how he respects him, and it's really nice, isn't it?
Yeah, I tend to like. This is when he's. I'm trying to clarify because I feel like this happens twice. It's when he's on the big screen.
No, what? No, this is when Taiki motivates
Earlier.
him. It's on the Monitormon screen.
Right, yeah, because he's like afraid of heights and doesn't want to climb up the thing, even though they never end up climbing up.
No, before that. No, this is just before he goes on the kite, and then that
That's
motivates
right,
him to face it.
That's right. They don't climb up the thing because of the kite.
Yeah,
This bit is totally jumbled up in my mind.
right. So Zenjiro then fights Kotomon after he's motivated by Taiki and kills him, which is pretty baller.
Just dead.
Then Zenjiro is put on a kite, and he says that he's scared, but he'll do it. In the dub, he explains the reason why he's scared of heights is because he got sick on a Ferris wheel.
Which is dumb.
That's like, no, like, oh, I was in an accident. No, it was just he got sick. And I prefer, like, not knowing why he's scared of heights, because now in the dub, that kind of just makes it seem, I don't know, it's weird.
People can just be scared of heights.
Yeah, like, it can just be like, oh, heights are not good, because guess what, if I fall, I'll die.
That's me.
Yeah, like, that's a legitimate fear. It's okay to have, like, I would say that heights is one of those fears that's rational, almost. Like, you know how you say, oh, phobias are irrational fears? Like, no, I would say, like, the fear of falling to your death is pretty rational, right?
Yes. I mean, again, though, I'm defending myself there because I'm scared of that.
Yeah, like I'm scared of needles and spiders, and those are completely irrational. I mean, spiders maybe like poisonous spiders are scary, but no, I don't like any of them. They make me sick. I don't like them.
Sam,
and needles, like not like tattoos and piercings needles, but like I got a blood test the other week, and I passed out, hit my head on the concrete, had a minor concussion. That's irrational. Completely
Minor
irrational.
concussions, totally irrational. I agree.
No, the needle, the fear, the passing out because of a needle is that part's irrational.
There is an autonomic response. I had a friend who had a blood test, and they passed out the moment the needle came out because there's like a nerve response that does that sometimes. That's real. People faint from having needles.
To be fair,
like, not because of fear.
they had to do the blood test twice because like the first one, like, he wasn't very good at doing it despite being a doctor, but the moment they actually put me onto someone who knew what they were doing, as in a nurse, and she was all like, okay, it's done. And I was like, I just had 2 needles. I feel not so good, and then I passed out and hit the back of my head on the concrete.
Time to die.
Yep, that was me. Anyway, I don't know. I feel like they didn't need to explain his fear of heights. Like, I feel like it was legitimate, or they could have, I don't know, said he was in an accident or something. I don't know. Anyway, what I'm really liking about this is Zenjiro is so good when he's motivated. Like, he's so scared, but he's facing his fears because of how motivated he is, and it's a really nice scene. So then he comes in to where Musimon is, and he says that he won't kill the princess until he gets the code crown. Which, by the way, like, that seems like the opposite of what, like, a hostage situation should be, right?
Yeah, it is a problem. They weren't like prizing their hostage enough. That's how I felt.
Yeah.
Like there's something to be said, like, oh, you give it to me or I'll kill the princess. But you can't be like, if you don't bring it to me tomorrow, then she dies. Because then, well, like, now what?
Yeah, like, oh, give it to me and then she'll die. Like, that feels like the wrong order. It feels like Musumon's not very good at his job.
But in like both circumstances, the first thing they say is that she'll die tomorrow if you don't. And fair enough, that's kind of how it works. But
She'll die anyway.
pretty much.
So the wording in the dub is, she's safe until I get the code crown. So it's the same meaning but different words because we can't mention death.
Death is scary, okay?
So then when the other Monotomon show up, they straight up say that this is the elite team instead of earlier in the last episode. Musumon says that Zenjiro has skill with the sword, which I respect. Like, I really like this scene. Like, it's two swordsmen doing a thing, and it's pretty cool. The Monotomon rescue the princess, and Zenjiro still wants to fight because honor. Then the big TV shows Zenjiro saying he's not as strong as Taiki, but there are things that only he can do, and he's still a part of Crossheart. The red Monotomon are inspired, and they attack Musumon. And
I'm really annoyed here that he doesn't like win a sword fight against this guy. He won it against the kendo dude. And by the way, good on him having a kendo fight finally.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of his thing. But at the same time, he gets in the sword fight. The guy goes, "Oh, I see what you're doing about a blade," and then he gets battered like immediately.
Yeah, I feel like it would have been really good is if Jeremy kills Musumon in this scene.
Dude, that'd be nuts.
Like, it wasn't Cross 5. It wasn't Sparrowmon knocking him out of the building. No, imagine if it was Jeremy. That'd have been, like, that. I think that would have made this episode a 10 probably, or at least a 9 for me.
That would have been incredibly weird.
Yeah, but it would have been so cool. Like, oh, we have this guy who's not even, like, not, you know, quote unquote, a chosen child of the season. He's just kind of was there. And here he is actually killing a Digimon. That's sick. I dig it. But of course, that didn't happen, so Sparrowmon and Nene show up, and she's motivated too, and her Crosshair becomes purple, and then she makes a high vision Monotomon, and then we get Cross 5 to fight Musumon, and he wins, and I don't know, this episode goes down after the point where Jeremy did not actually do any amazing sword fighting ability. I don't know. The red Monotomon want to come along too, and Nene says for Taiki to take them so they can communicate with her Monotomon. Nene says that Taiki can also have the code crown because now she's a part of Crossheart, but she won't always be around because she's got to rescue her brother and do other
Shouldn't
stuff.
she give him all the other ones as well?
She doesn't have any.
She had a bunch, didn't she?
No, we learned
when they did the big breakdown.
Yeah,
Team Twilight
no, and they said 0.
had a bunch.
No, they said Team Twilight is not interested in the code crowns.
Oh, I totally misremembered that.
Yeah,
but that's classic me, you know.
Yeah,
Encyclopedic knowledge, etc., etc.
Like, she doesn't care. Like, she does not care about the code crowns because it's not her mission, it's not her story. Her story is rescuing her brother. And it turns out, surprise, surprise, the dub did not tell us this at all. Barbamon is the princess, and now she wants to marry Zenjiro. And the data collection is Gomamon. Yay, I like Gomamon.
Don't we all?
What do you think of both these episodes as someone who's new to Digimon?
Like, there was fun comedy in them, but other than that, there was not really much going on. I don't think that they resolved Nene's thing all that well. I don't think that, what's it called? I'm trying to communicate. Yeah, like, Zenjiro's thing was alright, but didn't really go anywhere. At the end of the day, I don't think anything really happened, but there was some fun stuff with the making this dude laugh, and Edamon showing up and being wacky, and there's good stuff in there. Just, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, look, I really liked both these episodes. In terms of rating, I gave the first one an 8 and the second one, like, a 7, but I think I might actually move it down to, like, a 6.5 because,
honestly,
like,
my 6.5 was so strong and accurate. That's exactly what I think these are.
both of them?
Yes.
I think together I'll give them a 7. I don't know, I still enjoyed them. I feel like that episode 24 could have been a lot better. It was just like, oh, this is the Zenjiro episode. Zenjiro actually kills someone with his kendo sword. That'd have been cool.
He did kill somebody.
But
It did happen.
Yeah, he kills a child-level Digimon, but I don't know, it was small, but Musumon was like the big bad for the episode. He was like, you know, the one they had to beat. That would have been really cool.
Musimon. I will fight you with my parade wrist.
True. I get that reference. But the main thing is, I'm really, like, it's weird that, no, like, Nene didn't say, oh, and Zenjiro, now I'm impressed by you. I don't know. Also, her hair for some reason looked like she had some lift in it. When she gets the crossloader that changes colors, her hair just looks completely different. Like it looks higher up. I
But
don't
not
know.
like Miyazaki, angry,
No, no,
frustrated
no,
Hyra.
no, not like poofy.
Oh.
Just like her hair's like lifted up. Like it looks higher. It's like in a higher up bun, or like it sticks out a bit more. I don't know. I like the animation though. This episode, I guess episode 24 was well animated compared to like. I believe that was my complaint in the last Cross Wars episodes we watched, where the animation just sort of died. This one was fine. How did it compare to Obnoxious Synopsis besides the rating, which you already mentioned?
I mean, I guess that it would be Naruto, and that was not far off. I thought I guess that would be like a big comedy villain, but I thought it'd be Piedmon, which, you know what? It being Edamon, I don't feel like I was wrong, you know?
I mean, Edamon does sort of fit in, because it's a jungle, and I know he was wearing a ninja suit at some point. I know, I liked it.
That's weird as well. I totally forgot to mention the Ninja Edamon. That was a bit odd.
I dug it, because he's in a ninja zone. It sort of makes a little bit more sense that he's there. I don't know, I appreciated it. What was the major difference between the Japanese version and the English version?
So the major difference was generally in the first one, which is obviously all the comedy, because the comedy, they're all puns. They don't make sense in other languages.
I mean, I feel like they did a fair enough translation with what they had. Also, when Nene lifts up the sign that has the kanji for mother in the dub, it's just like an emoji. Like instead of drawing it, they wrote it on a keyboard. It's really weird.
That whole bit in English made no sense, that first one.
Yeah.
It was only the ones afterwards that even had, like, jokes in them. And they were so bad, that was why Taiki was like, why is he laughing?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I guess my major difference is Zenjiro being thirsty. Like, that's always my difference.
It was really obtrusive, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's just like, oh, my angel. Like, oh, no, Zenjiro's concerned about her safety here. Like, that's legitimate. Oh, no, he's thirsty in the dub. No, he cares about her. Please, calm down, dub. I don't know. But I guess there was also the flashes of lightning to obscure violence, and the removal of Akari's brothers. Episode 25 starts off with Kiriha is fighting a Mercurymon. In the dub, there's some added dialogue between Mercurymon and Kiluha. I don't know why I said Kiluha. I've been watching too much Hunter x Hunter. Kiriha, that's his name.
Who's Kiruha?
Kiluha is a character in Hunter x Hunter, which I've been watching.
I picked that up.
Yeah, a lot of. It's a good shonen. Anyway, so there's some added dialogue when we just are getting like establishing shots of the zone. There's some added dialogue in those scenes in the dub. Metal Greymon has killed the Mercurymon, and this is a weird sort of change.
It's super weird seeing Mercurymon, by the way.
Yeah, but it's also what's weird about it is that Mercurymon seemed to be like a good guy. Like all the village people are just like sad that he died. Like they love him.
Yeah, this is the mayor.
Yeah, this is unique. In the other zones, we have like, oh, this guy's a dictator and like is making us do slave labor to look for the code crown. Now this guy is actually like the legitimate code crown holder, and the villagers love him.
Tell that to, I mean, kind of the Heaven Zone was a bit like that, where it was legitimate.
Yeah, but it was still too harsh. But they had a reason for being too harsh. Like he was a good guy but also a bad guy. But he was only a bad guy because he had to be. So thus he is a good guy.
To an extent.
Yeah. So Blastmon shows up and challenges Kiriha. And he says in the dub, you have 12, I have 22. So I have twice as many. And Kiriha's just like, your maths is really bad. Meanwhile, Zenjiro is sad that they are separated from Nene. And I just want to say, I really like this zone's pretty cool. And the dub adds in this line, which makes it probably cooler. And Doraemon says, oh, it's ancient, because it's all obsolete. And I'm just like, whoa, dub, did you just add something that was reasonably cool?
I mean, depends on your definition of cool.
I know, I liked it.
You're allowed. You're allowed to be wrong, always.
I know, I thought it was a pretty cool addition. So Crossheart show up in the middle of a battle. So they have a plot magnet, I guess. Like, oh, there's plot going on here. Like, imagine they just showed up at a zone where nothing was happening and the code crown's just sitting in front of them and they go, okay, cool.
I mean, they've just randomly found them before. I wouldn't even put it past this stupid show.
Yeah. Blastmon absorbs a lot of Digimon to do a big attack because he wants to rank higher with all the other of the generals in the Bagra army. There's some added dialogue in the dub where Kiriha judges Blastmon's attack name, which is so cool. I love it.
I don't understand that. I thought about it for a while, and like, does that mean that attack names are decide you choose them? You
Yes.
get to do whatever you want.
I think it's implied in Cross Wars that your attacks are mainly just you make them up, like that they are attacks and you give them a name.
That's stupid. Do you know that's stupid?
I like it.
Because it is. It's dumb.
I like the fact that Kiriha is judging Blastmon's attack name, like it's just like super mega big attack. It's funny. I like it.
I wish it was. It was like, oh, it was like Svagna Fist or something.
Kiriha
So here's the
cross-
thing:
yep.
why do you bring an army when you could just eat them beforehand and be more powerful to begin with?
I think it depends on the situation.
But like, why bother? Just
I don't
go
know.
and win. Just go and win
True.
already.
So Kiriha crosses to get Decadramon and Metal Greymon, who just blows up everything basically, and the mountain's falling apart. And it turns out that it's weak to big shocks. Taki finds out that Kiriha already has the Code Crown and is basically the leader of the zone, and he's completely shocked that he would do anything dangerous to destroy it. In the dub, when Taiki's asking what happened to the previous Code Crown holder, there's like Mercurymon says, "Oh, I'm just a bit cracked up here," and it's almost like he's replying to Mikey in the dub. It's really weird. It's like they were trying to make him look like he's not dead. He's just lying on the ground, broken,
Not dead, just sleeping.
like Punk, not
Just
dead,
like Punk.
just tired.
Just like CM Punk.
Punk's not dead. Punk has narcolepsy. So Kiriha's being really cruel and basically wants to kill Taiki, and Taiki's pointing out that he has like this weird look in his eyes. And so while they're arguing, Blastmon is sad that he's being forgotten, and I love Blastmon. He is my favourite. I love him. He's adorable.
If you insist, I don't think so.
Crossfor
Oh,
Naito.
yeah,
Oh,
I like his voice.
yeah. I mean, he's
Zen Bison.
He's Zen Bison. So Crossfor Naito falls apart, and the zone collapses, and Shoutmon is separated, and he's along with Kiriha's Digimon. So it's a good old-fashioned separation subplot.
It's probably the best one they've done.
Yeah, true. Because it's also... I like this one because it is the characters who we don't usually see interacting, which are the Digimon of another chosen child. We don't see Digimon interacting that much. In Tamers, we had Renamon and Impmon, and that was great. That's the only time I can ever actually remember two Digimon having like a conversation and it being relevant and interesting rather than just like, hey, I'm a Digimon, hey, samesies. Like, I really like this. I hate separation subplots. I feel like they are always cheap to get something to happen. And we already had two with Taiki, and it was in the exact same way where they're traveling between zones and Taiki gets spirited away by the Digimons.
It's really lazy because it feels like each section was written independently and then
Yeah.
they just jigsawed them together a little bit.
Like, it's like they said, hey, you write this episode, let's see who does better, and they both do badly, or they both do well. Like, oh, well, I guess we just take both. We'll fit it in. So, speaking of plot, male Bergemon's wings aren't working, because, of course they're not. That would be too simple. And Greymon and male Bergemon laugh at the idea that Shoutmon says it is king, and he says, look, you're not even fit to be a vessel of Digicross, because you fell apart. Like, that was your fault there. Like, you're awful, you're terrible, you're not going to be king. And this breaks Shoutmon a little bit, and it's going to continue to break him, which is kind of, I don't know, I like whenever they give the Digimon personalities.
Why would you like that? That's the characters and stuff, and that only means they'll disappoint you later.
No, but what if they don't disappoint me? What if they live up to expectations?
Well, that would be wrong. Since when do they ever do that?
We find out that Damemon was actually the one who made Blastmon challenge Kiriha, and also he has a Chumon on his head.
A Choo-Choo-mon.
A Chumon, because he's smaller.
I was like, wait, it's all a big secret? Is Chumon the real bad guy? Is it possible? That'd be really dumb.
I
That would
don't
be dumb.
even remember.
That'd be dummy.
I get it. Taiki asks Kiriha why he doesn't care about the new zone that he basically has control over, and then Kiriha sees that one of the villagers is crying, and he yells at them. And this is also Lunamon, by the way, which I don't think we've ever actually seen in the anime. It was a poster child for Digimon World Dusk, or Digimon Story Dusk, rather.
Dusk.
And Kiriha and Taiki are about to fight, and Akari stops them from fighting. In the dub, Christopher is so much harsher. He basically says, look, if male Bergemon and Greymon don't climb up, they're weak, and I don't need them. Like, oh, this was just heartbreaking, because in the original, like, he does care for his Digimon, but in the dub, he's just like, nope, guess they can die.
I don't need them. Why would I need them?
Blastmon is hungry and puts Valvemon in his place, which I always dig seeing Valvemon, because he was actually, like, a character in Digimon World 2003. So, like, welcome back. I'm glad you actually showed up in the TV show at some point. That was cool. I have a feeling he was in the manga as well, or one of the manga. Shoutmon saves Greymon and Malbergemon from falling and tries to pull them up, and they say how it's impossible because he's a runt. But he does it anyway. And Shoutmon says they should join forces. Then they go up through the elevator and Kiriha wants to leave, but Taiki wants to save the zone. Then Taiki makes Cross-4 Knight, and then Taiki tells him not to use so much force because otherwise the zone will be destroyed. Greymon sees that Cross-4 Knight is struggling, and he asks him what happened to the power from before. In the dub, it's really weird because Greymon's like hesitant to help Shoutmon, and it's more like, hey, I'm helping you like to get rid of this favor, rather than I'm helping you because you earn my respect, and I know you're stronger than this.
It's funny because I didn't read it that way.
Oh?
I read it more like, because it was, you can't tell me what to do, but I guess you can because I owe you, right? That was the second part. That was what he said after helping.
Yeah.
So it was like he paid off the life debt just by not being weird about being told what to do.
Yeah.
And he helped because he just knew it was the right thing to do.
True.
I don't know. It was less clear in the English.
Yeah. I preferred in the original though.
Yeah,
so
straightforward.
Yeah, they defeat Valvemon, but the zone is still crumbling. Kiriha wants to leave, yep.
How could they not defeat Valvemon anyway? It can only ever attack twice. It can't attack a third time.
Also, they can just push him off the zone. The zone is floating, I'd like to point out.
That too. If you can just throw him, and they do.
Taiki says he can't turn his back on the villagers, and Kiriha does anyway. And Shoutmon thinks that the cross fell apart because he's weak-minded, and Taiki's sad because Kiriha doesn't care about this zone that's his. And then the episode ends on this, like, oddly sad cliffhanger that's surprising to come from Digimon. It's like, oh, we're having the main character have all these doubts, and the Digimon is also having doubts, but they're different doubts. They are both having internal struggles, and it's separate from each other.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be resolved pretty much immediately at the end of this little mini-arc. So 1 or 2 episodes from now, we'll never hear about it again.
And the data collection is Yukidarumon, which is fun. Glad to see it. Glad to see like a relic. What do you think of this episode as someone who is new to Digimon?
You know what? It was alright. I think that all of Shoutmon's stuff was really good. My only problem with it is that it felt like it would have been a really good blow-off of, like, his weird story that he'd been having where, you know, he was really obsessed with being the king, and he was, like, all in his own head and, like, desperate to succeed at his goals, and, like, everyone else was secondary. The problem is that he stopped being like that after 2 episodes. So, like, it's way less interesting as a result.
Yeah. I really liked this episode. I feel like I enjoyed it more talking about it now and thinking about how much I actually enjoyed the separation plot sort of thing that was, even though it was resolved quickly, I appreciated we had Digimon talking to each other. I don't think
that was nice, I will agree.
It hasn't happened that many times in Digimon. I think this was... I mean, we had Agumon and Blackwall Greymon talking, but it was just like... I don't know, I feel like this was more meaningful. It was a lot more like Renamon and Impmon's discussions from Tamers. And, I don't know, it's something that I believe it was a criticism of Adventure in Zero Two for you, Jay, where you always said, hey, how come the Digimon never interact?
It's true, they have no personalities. And now maybe they do.
Because we can argue that Shoutmon definitely has a personality. Like, Greymon and Malbergemon, they're more or less just like... They're very similar to Kiriha. Like, they're sort of, like, smug. Oh, you're weak. You're not worth anything. And then there's Shoutmon, who's, like, pretty full of personality. And I really do appreciate that whenever they give the partner Digimon a personality that is separate from their chosen child.
I like the term full of personality because it's a nice way of saying someone's a jerk.
Yeah, basically. I mean, that's how I describe my dog.
Yeah, they've got a lot of personality.
Yeah, my dog has so much personality. Yeah, that's what I always... When I was like, well, he's got a lot of personality.
That's what parents say about their annoying kids.
Yeah, like, well, the kid is definitely not boring. Like, that's a nice way.
You get described that way a lot?
Yeah, like, I'm
sure
well,
I did.
Yeah, you're not boring. You're not dull. You're not entirely stupid.
Not entirely. Well, yeah. That's nice. You have the best parents, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. We know this. How did this episode compare to your predictions of Obnoxious Synopsis?
I thought it'd be like the earthquake zone. There's no way for me to know it was discs. And then at the end of the day, Kiraha's not their friend yet. I thought this would be like the resolution of it.
No,
and
he's worse than
it's like way worse.
We last saw him like, oh, Decajamon's all like, hey yo, we're friends, and then like the episode after that, Kiriha was brainwashed and Taiki punched him in the face and they earned each other's respect. It's like we backpedaled. It's like that episode should have gone after this episode by like the relationship between Kirihara and Taiki.
Yeah, because they're like, hold on a minute, why are you like this? And that would make way more sense when he was brainwashed. And then he
Yeah.
would explain it retrospectively. It's like, oh, sorry, I was brainwashed during that. That's why I blew up a whole zone and didn't care.
No, apparently Kirihara's just occasionally awful.
He's just a jerk, man.
Yeah.
He's just a jerkman. A Johnny Jerkman.
Jerkmon.
I bet that's a Digimon. There are
I
like
don't think
thousands.
so. It's a fan Digimon, I will bet money on, but I don't think it's a real Digimon. Also, speaking of real Digimon, there sure was a Digimon I've never seen in my entire life in this episode, though.
What was it?
Oh, it was like a little panda with like a beanstalk?
What? Isn't that a Pokemon?
No! It's in this episode, and I don't even know this Digimon's name. I didn't even know he existed. I just looked at him and I said, who are you? Like, I feel like it's a Digimon they had a design for that they pulled out, but they didn't actually give him anything. And for some reason, they gave him like the droopy voice in the dub, like, oh no, I'm sad. So yeah, that was a thing. Welcome to the show,
Life-changing
Digimon.
for you.
Like, did you know the Digimon I'm talking about, right?
Oh, kind of. It doesn't strike me as weird because all Digimon are weird. Like,
No, but he's like I took a screenshot, and I guess I'll have to link it in the show notes, and I'll just put it in Discord so Jay can see. But it's just it is with it just has a beanstalk with a, like, he looks sleepy, and he's got a panda also sticking out of the beanstalk. It is a Digimon I've never seen before, and I kind of want to see again because, like, it is new when I see a Digimon I've not seen ever before. I don't even know if this Digimon has a name. It
probably does. They must. They have design notes.
I mean, in a way, it almost seems like a Digimon that won a contest, like the Oikawa's Digimon in 02.
Okay, explain that.
So in 02, when Oikawa gets a Digimon, it's a little like green thing. That's just from a designer Digimon competition, and I believe when we covered that episode, we actually looked at a bunch of other designed Digimon ones. This one feels like it might also be that then, because it just doesn't fit. Like, I've just sent you the picture if you want to look at it, but it just doesn't.
It is really weird.
Like, we see it compared to Lunamon and Togamumon. It's
I think called Togamumon.
Togamamon or something.
That make Togamamon maybe.
Togamamon. I don't know, something like that. He's adorable. He's another a Digimental Digimon that we never saw, which I appreciate.
There's so many.
They're because they have all of the Digimentals with all of the Digimon from 02 and then some.
02 refuses to stop haunting me, except when I wanted it to in Try.
True.
The only time it wouldn't haunt me was the time that it would have been appropriate.
What a disappointment.
It was!
In any case, like, this panda is just like...
I think you're freaking out about this panda.
I know, because I just remembered it, and I was just like...
I don't think this panda's worth freaking out over, because it's still a Digimon, right? It still showed up in Digimon? Just because you didn't notice it when you watched this when you were younger, you did see it before.
I wasn't young when I watched this. This came out in 2011, and I first saw this episode when I was in my...
7 years ago.
I first saw this in my first year of university, which was 6 years ago.
Oh, yeah, no, you were the same age as you are now, somehow.
No, I wouldn't say young
Then,
as in, like...
I said younger.
I was 20.
That's a quote.
And in any case, it's a weird Digimon. So what was the major difference? Because I don't actually have that many for this episode.
I got, like, nothing for you. Like, the only thing is the timing of, like, when Greymon says, it's a debt, etc.
Yeah, it's just, I guess, wording, but, like, nothing specific enough that it's just like, hey, that's a big difference. Like, it was more or less, like, a very similar episode. Also, did you give a rating for it? Because I gave it, like, a 7.
It's probably a 6.
Like, I feel like it deserves better than a 6. It was fun.
I guess it'd be a 7. It probably didn't deserve a 7.
Out of the 3 episodes, what was your favourite then?
God, that's hard. Because, obviously, like, nothing actually happened in that first episode. And the second one, I think the Jeremy stuff was good, but not done perfectly.
It had potential.
Yeah, so I guess that's the best one because of potential.
The first one was my favourite.
Second, yeah.
Have you noticed that this series seems, like, scared to give any characters other than Taiki any attention, like, compared to other seasons where we're like, okay, this is the Joe episode, Joe's going to have some time in the limelight, he's going to be a big hero.
Frontier.
Pardon?
Tell that's a Frontier.
Oh, there was still, like, episodes that were arguably, like, they had the Bergamon episode, which you could say was arguably, like, Tomoki's episode.
Oh, yeah, arguably, that's the problem. You could argue that this is Jeremy's episode.
We had the Junpei evolves for the first time episode in Frontier, which was all right. Like, he was all sad, but he used that was actually quite an okay episode. He used, like, tactics, and like made friends with all the Kakuamon because they also felt that they were pathetic and he thought he was pathetic, so they sympathized with him. I don't know. In any case, it is... I don't know, I feel like that's so far my negative about Cross Wars is that they are terrified of giving any characters any limelight. Like, episode 24 was a Jeremy episode, and he was having an episode, but he couldn't finish the fight. So Nene shows up, and Nene doesn't finish the fight, despite it also being her episode, because...
It resolves her, like, emotional thing, where she joins the team now.
Yeah, like, this
For
is her...
reasons that are like, well, I guess he did that by being brave?
Yeah, it's
maybe?
like... Yeah, he motivated that. So that is good. Like, well done. You motivated a character. That is good. You did a good job. You're very motivational. You're very
Congratulations,
brave.
you're a mascot. Well done.
I don't know. I liked that. But it was weird.
I like mascots too.
Like, what if it could have... Okay, maybe not Jeremy doesn't do the fight by himself because, you know, he's only a human. But what if Nene and Jeremy fight together?
Well, let him get a few good hits in first, then he gets almost defeated. Like, he just, like, he stood there being brave, and then he got battered immediately, and that made it embarrassing.
And then Taiki finished the fight for no reason at all, because Taiki was not in this...
No one's got a Digimon powerful enough, because he's the only one with Digimon at all.
Yeah, well, Taiki wasn't in this episode, really. He just kind of showed up at the start, said, hey, Jeremy, you do the thing. But then
and Jeremy was like, damn it. And the doggo was like, oh god, no.
You know what this is like? This is like in Princess Karaoke, where it's a Mimi episode. Greymon evolves at the end and defeats the big bad of the episode. The novels fix that. Togemon evolves to Lilymon. She defeats the Digimon. But in the episode, no. Taichi shows up for no reason.
Are you saying they come up with a novel solution? Hey!
But I don't know.
It's really funny.
It's annoying. So we had some Digimon introduced. We have the mouse on Damemon.
I like it. It's obviously it seems like a callback to the True Monster.
Yeah.
Chumon. Yeah, that's why it's Choo because it's different, smaller.
Well, he also looks like a the Damemon looks like a Sukamon, but smaller.
Yeah, and also a robot.
Also a
robot. Because it's getting piloted.
We have various Monotomon, which are all different colours, and we have the creepy drill sergeant one.
No, they're all creepy because one of them lifts up its shirt and it's got a stomach, so they're all skin.
And we have High Vision Monotomon. That's the one that was made from the Monotomon that Nene digicrossed. It's black, basically, and he has like more antenna.
Right. It's a Monotomon. Let's be real. That's not new.
Yeah, it's a colour change. And we have Kabukimon, but we didn't get much time with Kabukimon. I like Kabukimon's design.
I don't know what you want from me here. Is that Musimon?
No, Kabukimon looks like a flower samurai.
What? I have no recollection of this thing. When did it show up?
In the first or maybe second episode, probably second. Second, I think.
What context?
Just one of the random Ninja Digimon that showed up.
Well, I'm never going to notice that.
I thought it was cool. It was on screen for a couple of minutes. I like it. What about Karatenmon, by the way? Oh, have we seen it before?
Isn't that an evolution of like the Wild Boys Digimon?
No, Falcomon, no.
Oh, it's just very similar.
I mean, it could be an evolution in like the card game, but in the show, no.
Or is it if you like slap a Digimental on it? That's always the other option at this stage.
For Postmon Pat this week, first up, I'll read Reddit and our first comment on With the Will, and then Jay will read the rest. So on Reddit, we have one from K-Braid saying, speaking of the last 4 episodes...
K-Brad?
These were the first episodes that K-Braid watches of Cross Wars. And honestly, without context, the rest of Cross Wars made the finale better. That's good. I guess that means it improves, right?
Wait, hold on a second. Without context, the finale was better?
The rest of Cross Wars before, I guess.
But, hold on. That doesn't... I don't understand. Is that saying that it was better seeing the finale without knowing what happened the rest of the time, or they saw the ending and they were like, "Oh, that wasn't so good," and they watched backwards and then it got better?
Well, they said that the first 4 episodes they saw were the last 4 episodes that we covered, so starting around like episode 20.
That seems like a bad way to start watching a series, but I guess back in the day when you just watched whatever was on TV, you didn't really have a choice about that.
On With
back
the
in
Will,
the day of 2011,
we have a comment on With the Will from Wildwing64. Who says, given Chronicle's relative obscurity, covering it as an audio drama is a neat idea. That's what I thought. Hopefully it works out well. Could be absolutely garbage. Guess we'll find out. And Jay, what does Chakmon have to say?
And so Chakmon says, Taiki swimming through space with goggles, snorkel, and fins was super adorable, even if it didn't make any sense. They love anytime the goggles actually get worn. They also really like the new Digicross lead-in with the dial and square photos of Digimon being crossed. Taiki punching Giraha was perfect callback scene for what has been a very serviceable, formulaic and generic series thus far. Very appropriate. Although the lead up to this evil Kiriha and Dark Knightmon at the end of episode 20 was such a great episode end. I actually kind of like the digilore of Cross Wars, with the digital world existing prior to the human discovery of digital technology. There's something nice about the digital world being its own thing, and not exclusively a product of human endeavors, even though that's what it is. I don't know, it still weirds me out. I guess the background would make Digimon alien, in a sense, and they would be.
Yeah.
I would never really thought about it until the recent news about the next Digimon project. Okay, and the idea that writers have been kicked around the idea of Digimon being aliens. The weak spots in this lot of episodes are like Lord Bagara's motivation really just being to rebuild an evil digital world, and in their opinion, Skullgreymon should never be used as a lackey, as it appeared with Team Twilight. I know they mentioned it last time, but Skullgreymon should be an uncontrollable beast, not the member of a group or professional villain association. Really fair. I mean, like, you look at all of the Digimon that show up in this, they just get thrown out whatever. Like, Mercureymon is just a random, like, mayor of this zone until it dies off screen. As discussed, this was a weird set of episodes seemingly only designed to move Nene around. My impression of Dark Knightmon's tower and being trapped in the Dusk Zone is, until getting the Darkness loaded, Dark Knightmon was reliant on Nene to travel between zones. To remain fairly invisible, he set his base in the invisible Dusk Zone that nobody cares about until he got enough power to be able to move from zone to zone himself. My only problem here is, like, he was already doing that. He had Nene the whole time, and she listened to him all the time. So why would he say he's trapped? And then he immediately got Kiriha, and so once Kiriha's under his control, why does he still make the Darkness loader? He's not trapped, he can go right now. It doesn't make any sense. Although with all the Digimon flying through the digital space between zones that Wisemon was studying in his book, why couldn't Dark Knightmon do it too? It's not scary looking enough.
Maybe. I don't know. Team Twilight sure is a thing.
It's confusing, and I don't think they put in like any effort to really explain themselves, because they're like, it doesn't matter.
Like, they sure did.
It's Digimon, who cares?
They sure did hurry to make Nene a good character, though.
I mean, she was really on the pathway there already. She seemed really sympathetic the entire time.
I mean, in terms of, like, her alignment, she wasn't actually really evil. She was just kind of being manipulated.
Yeah, she was doing evil stuff for a good reason. Chaotic or good.
But I think I would have preferred if she was possibly brainwashed like Ken. I don't know, make her, like, actually evil for a little while. I don't know. Would have been cool.
Would it, though? Alright, everybody, join us for the next episode of the GJ Club. Shoutmon, Bogus King, or the real thing?
Or Shoutmon, Proof of a King.
And Sweet Zone Bake Off.
Or Sweet Zone, Sweet Tooth Digimon Battle.
And Batley in the Digital Depths.
Or the Ultimate Weapon Active. Hang in there, Cutemon. Relevant again.
Is Cutemon the ultimate weapon? That would be great.
So hippity boop boop to Andrew for the 14th of June, which is today.
Happy birthday.
Which, like, probably American, so tomorrow, but also today, but also yesterday if you're listening to this edited. So also maybe in the past or in the future, depending on...
Who knows?
I don't know. Who knows with when people listen to episodes. The link dump's linked in the description, and our Redbubble is also linked in the description, and you can get more than just shirts there too. You can contact us and stay updated. You can email us at LostinTranslationmon@gmail.com, or you can comment on this episode or message us on SoundCloud. You can follow us on @TranslationMon on Twitter, and you can find us on LostinTranslationmon on Tumblr, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We have a discussion thread on With the Will, and a red thread in the Digimon subreddit. And we would appreciate every reviews on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or any other podcast listening app that you use. Ratings assist people finding about the podcast, and we like new listens. It'd be cool. And we have a website where you can vote in polls, as I mentioned earlier, which are linked in the link dump. You can check out our release schedule, and check out our blog posts.
And you can donate to our Patreon, which is linked in the description, from as little as $1 a month, which gets you access to our listener Slack chat group, but there are higher levels with more rewards, such as notes, early episodes, and more. And thank you to our Patreon supporters, Sam Krieger, Stevie, who's Stevie Madamon on Tumblr and is currently taking commissions there, Metal Mamamon, Joe, Anime Guy, who's Anime Guy Kurosaki and the #1 on YouTube, Chalkmon, Hiro Lado, Stephen Reeves, who is Wildbook64 and Archive of Our Own, Kaidawashi, Mac, Noam, Riku, Chisai, who you can follow at Chisai236 on Tumblr, Kyle, The Lady Bugman, whose anime blog you can read at baguburagu.wordpress.com, Glitchgoat, Azrael McCool, Gene Hackmon, who hosts New World Sonata, which is a sci-fi and fantasy audio drama podcast, Matthew, Anthony, who's at AntoClassic on Twitter, Lizmet, who's a Lekmon on Tumblr, Sporky, Sithobi, Megan, Kyliek, Neobu, The Time Optimist, Silverhead Freak 25, who's at SHF25 tweets on Twitter, Harvey, Nicholas, Anthony V, Harrison, Michael, and Michael C.
You can also make a one-off donation on our PayPal, which you can find in the description. It's paypal.me/edgemon. Make sure let's watch the podcast. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.